My name is Manisha Shahane, and I'm just turned 52. When I look back at everything, I do feel like everything was conspiring for me, even though at the time it literally felt like everything was falling apart. And I don't think any of us really knew what the situation was. Like you think you know what it is, right? But you don't really know.
I really don't feel like I had a good understanding of what was coming. It kind of happened, it unfolded, and I was either like really naive or I was just taken by surprise.
For a few of the days we were just on our own, and my mother had a fall.
She had some falls that we had not connected the dots. But I happened to talk to our family friend. She is a neurologist, and she tested, and she said, my wife has a Parkinson's disease. And that was very unexpected. My wife could connect the dots. She was a physician, and she knew automatically. We decided we'll move to Texas, so we'll be close to the family.
In May, when this diagnosis was confirmed, literally a month later, then I was home. And I was just observing the situation, and it became clear that there were certain things she definitely could use some support with. So for example, in preparing meals, they would get chapatis that were made, but the day-to-day cooking, she was taking care of, and my parents were taking care of the day-to-day stuff in the household. She was still doing things, but it was clear that the diagnosis was on her mind. And when she began getting like nicks and cuts by chopping food, so she was willing to let us help.
There were lots of these kind of small turning points. There were a few incidents, falls, and things that she needed the standby support.
I knew how Parkinson's progresses because my father had it.
Can I give you this, some on top of your rice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife was an excellent cook.
This is all still, my dad is figuring this out. They're still wrapping their heads. And my mother's situation now begins to dramatically change in ways that like nobody had anticipated.
And I started going there and helping on a couple of mornings a week once the kids were in school. I had encouraged Mom to do a journal that was really more of like how she was feeling.
She looks
cracks me up, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I know, Nikhil's 6th grade.
So many of these are
so Mom would do your name, right?
My abbreviation?
Naina's name is your abbreviated Nay.
Yeah, Mom was finding ways to make
I talked to Mihir today, he sounded good on the phone. Nay was brief on the, but she talked about what, Odyssey? They are getting, St. Marcus.
It says St. Marcus. It's San Marcos.
San Marcos.
So yeah.
Because it must have been some soccer game, right?
No, we purchased the van in San Marcos in 2016.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then, but after a while, she was not expressing what she's grateful, but what she wished. I wish Manisha will not be so forceful. And and I liked eating Naina's something that you made. In those
I'm
days.
just looking for when it changed because these
Oh,
you can
yeah,
see
you're
are
right.
hers.
That's right.
So April, sometime it was.
Yeah, she started
That seems
giving up the writing,
August.
meaning or getting help with writing. Yeah, because here it became very,
Well, I
very
think
challenging.
That, yeah, you can see how challenging it was, and she was still really, really
Here
working
it was
pretty
always
hard.
love is with me, 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 love is with me. And it makes it seem, looking at these, as though she was, as if her thought process had gotten short. But you can see from this, it wasn't her thought process, the ability to articulate it in the writing.
And what was,
Yeah, and so the nuance was still
challenges.
there in her mind, but to be able to get it out, I think, was hard. I don't know if I know you had seen it, right?
Yeah, it's been a long
but
time.
It's been a long time. Yeah, so I found it when we were clearing things up, and I had put it in the guest bedroom closet. So do you know where this picture is from?
I feel like that's here in Austin, maybe on an anniversary.
Yep.
Did they
Yep.
go to dinner? But was it that where they had the spicy Thai food?
They had the spicy Thai food.
I feel so bad. It was
I know.
really spicy for them.
Yeah, they went on their own.
They did. Yeah.
I don't know if that was the last anniversary they were able to go on their own. I think so.
But once we moved here and she had to have a feeding tube, it became much more challenging. But she understood everything. We could tell her, we use sign language or blink of eye because she couldn't make any sound. So it was quite difficult. See, we had this, so I could roll the wheelchair down here and then would take my wife over there. They flowering plants, they would come up. So she sat here many times. She would have her breakfast here.
And we began needing 24/7 support. My dad and I were mainly doing that for a few months before we began to take advantage of Mom's long-term care insurance to begin getting help a little bit at a time. And then my sister's involvement, physical involvement, became more as the situation changed. Later, when things became really challenging, and even with having a lot of support and help, and by this time there wasn't any more long-term insurance, and so so I was helping it at night also, and it's not like I minded. It's just that I was just trying to figure out, like, now how do you make it work? And excuse me. So finding time to eat became challenging. And trying to have time to have the conversations in the family to help understand that this is kind of important, or to have the coverage. And it wasn't even that it was time to eat, but sometimes finding an uninterrupted time, because even if we did have help, that person might need help.
I think some of the conversations were really difficult. My dad would have conversations with us saying that they wanted to make sure we knew that they wanted no extreme measures.
And you can follow up and say, hey, did you have a chance to look at that? So now I do want to talk about what was in Mom's advance directive that caused us the confusion. So it says here, if there comes a time that I am unable to make medical decisions about myself because of illness or injury, I direct that the following treatment preferences be honored. And so the issue with this is that in our perception, it seemed like she could still make medical decisions, but she wasn't able to express them.
And she demonstrated that when we changed the tube. She gave a clear indication twice with the blink of eye.
It really only is, it just matters that the three of us understand what we're saying, you know, in this situation.
So I'm glad that, Daddy, you have the thing, and hopefully this will never, ever have to even be used.
Even when we make the language the way we want it, that it's still not a, okay, that's done and put it to bed. It's a, okay, we're going to look at this. We're going to talk about this in 6 months. We're going to...
Yeah, depending on the frequency.
What the situation.
Exactly.
But I think that is what, when I think about what the years, I don't think, I didn't look at it that much again until much later.
Yes, no, I remember the morning I woke up when we were having all the questions about what to do. And,
when you called
and then
me.
I remembered, and I went straight to the study. I was like, Daddy, where's the directive? And, right, you remember? I don't know if you remember that. So that's when we looked at it, and then Ajay came, and we were able to begin to get some clarity. So I think
having this paperwork is important, but it's really, really important to have the conversations. It's really important to know what are the details that matter? What does each person want to prioritize?
How are you doing? Oh, boy.
we had just a couple of things.
Are you glad to get the power on?
I know, you must have been so cold. Thank you.
Hi, Moshi.
Hey there. Good to see you.
I want for him, you know, now and for the rest of his years, I feel like he really deserves to be a little more relaxed. It was a really intense time.
Oh, yes, sorry.
And so I would like for him to be able to be at ease, to enjoy the things that are important to him. Hey, boys. We were looking through Aji's journals upstairs, and I found this one that I wanted to read to you. There's a lot like this, but this is Thursday, February 23rd, 2017.
Maybe you can see if Robert can see it. Mihir, can you come and see if you want to? Can you read what she's written?
This afternoon, Naina came, and Nikhil, Mihir, and Rahul. She decided to surprise us. We were delighted to see them. I am
Thankful
to play.
to Nay. She was abbreviated.
She abbreviated Naina's name.
So she's thankful to Naina.
For coming with all of them together. And then to
When you care for someone who is completely vulnerable, it changes your life. Somebody watching this could feel very alone and may feel angry or bitter or something, and that it's really very natural. So I don't want to take away from that or make it seem like that isn't part of the experience. I just think that in my case, having the chance to work through that I didn't have to have those be the only things, and that they're all, the memories can be taken together so that even the painful ones can not have it harden my heart. I feel like it's really humbled me. I still have a long ways to go.